Hello students, welcome to yet another session of political science. As you all know that we were previously discussing the chapter equality, let us continue our discussion furthermore. We were in our previous discussion we were talking about economic equality, and we were talking that how total equality has never existed in any of the societies, but still the governments have continuously kept on trying to create certain levels of equality, certain levels of satisfaction in their citizens. So continuing the discussion further, let us try to understand that what is the concept of feminism. See, there is generally a notion prevailing that certain jobs are assigned for men only, and the women are assigned certain duties to perform in the family. Now, the feminists, they have a strong argument, and they say that these arrangements are not creation of Mother Nature. These arrangements are rather the creation of society, because in a very long span of time the societies have been patriarchal, and the men have always played a very dominant role in these societies. So that is why the bifurcation has come up, that men are physically strong and they are entitled for public life, and the women who are not physically strong uh, overall, so they have to perform the household chores and duties. And the aspect that women are way mentally strong has been somehow overlooked in this bifurcation. So the feminists, they argue that just because the women have the ability to reproduce a child does not means that the women are wholly and solely responsible for taking care of that child also. It is the duty of the father also to help out the mother, to help out run the system of the family. Wherever assistance is required, he should help out his better half. So this is one argument, this is a way of thinking, and that is why the feminists say that there should not be a differentiation on the basis of gender, that the particular gender would be having a hustle free life, and a particular gender would be performing all the duties of the household. And even in rural areas and parts of cities also, in urban areas also, we get to see that the working women, they have to perform dual duties. They have to perform their duties in the offices or in the workplace also, and then after returning they have to take care of the home space also. So their argument is that the home is a creation, the society is a creation of the two genders, and both should bear equal responsibility. So this is the thought promotion of the ideology of feminism. So many agree to it, many don't, but with the changes in the pattern, with the promotion of education, now we see that women are also allowed to have proper education. They are allowed to uh, choose a profession. They are allowed to profess a profession where they feel that they can do give their best. Moreover, in the family also, now husband and wife are working as equals. They are helping out each other. Now let us continue our discussion about the next topic, that how to establish formal equality. Now, as we say that equality is a very vague concept, definitely it is. Something vague means something which is very easy to explain in an idea, but in reality how to adopt it, how to imply it is quite challenging. So, for establishing formal equality, the government, the society, the family members, they have to take initiative to promote equality in the society. So how can we promote equality? By giving special privileges, by creating a special environment for those who are physically challenged, for those who are fragile, who are very weak, or who need extra support and guidance from the family. This might be any specially abled child. It might be the women in the rural areas where they are not getting proper exposure. It might be the tribal community people who did not have political exposure or any other sort of exposure um, in few decades back. So that sort of exposure should not be allowed to these communities, to these tribes, to the women candidates, so their condition can be improved and a better uh, example can be set up in the society. So the next point here comes is that equality through differential treatment. As I said, that special privileges should be provided to such people who are weaker, who are vulnerable, who are fragile. Now, here this differential treatment should be provided by the state. For example, for the poor children, free education. For the willing, proper educational facilities so that they may also have a proper and better future career aspect. Moreover, when we talk about specially abled people or the disabled, then there should be government policies which you would have observed while filling the forms for colleges, and also if you have observed your elder brothers or sisters, there are columns and there are special privileges given through weightage marks to such people so that they may also get equal and fair chance to pursue education from educational institutions and also to have job preferences in various fields. They are being given special chances and special privileges so that they may also can lead a self-sufficient life so that they may earn a proper living. Now, in continuation, through this equality through differential treatment, their affirmative actions are required, as I told you, through providing scholarships, through providing special considerations to admission to educational institutions, and providing special reservation for jobs. The governments they try to show their affirmative actions toward these section of society, though it is not a permanent solution and it is temporary or time bound measure. It cannot be taken as a measure which will be everlasting. So definitely the governments try, they try to take action, they try to create such an environment where the sections of the society can be brought into the limelight who had been not given proper exposure either politically, either socially, either in context of education or job opportunities, and likewise. So equality definitely still is a vague concept, but because of increasing ratio of education, then globalization, then virtual educational system, distant learning, and a lot of change in the thought process of people has made it possible that a certain level of equality can be maintained even in a society where different belief systems are existing, different thought processes are existing on the same level. So the governments try through their policies to create such an environment for their citizens. The success of these policies totally depends upon the perspective of the citizens. If they have a positive perspective, then definitely they can take advantage of these measures. And if they are wasting their time in a negative approach or manner, then definitely to create chaos is always an option open for the hardliners. So, not only this, there have always been critics of positive discrimination. As I always say, the coin has two faces. One is the positive face of a particular ideology or a concept, one is the negative face of that particular ideology or concept. So, critics are always there. The people who appreciate the policies are also there. So the critics, they say that positive discrimination should not be promoted because ultimately it will not lead to a solution, a effective solution. So this is on our part, that we make our lives simple by looking into rights, by maintaining equality in our actions towards other, by giving them their due respect, or by creating hustle and chaos in the society, which would ultimately bring disturbance in our system, in our approach only. So this much for today. Thank you.